Good morning and welcome. My name is Derek Lackey. I'm the chairman of the Response Marketing Association. And we exist to help marketers be better marketers. And to that end, we'd like to introduce Frank Hoffmeyer from iContact. Frank is the senior manager marketing for iContact, which is a Ziff Davis company. Hank is here. Hank wears many hats, but he's here today to talk about repurposing content, particularly quality content. And I think in our books and in Hank's book, quality content is what we mean when we talk about content. Because if you're putting up crappy content, you should stop that. So Hank, over to you. Why don't you fill the audience in a little more on who you are and what you do, and begin your presentation.
Thanks, Derek. It's a pleasure to be here today. And you hit the nail on the head. I wear a lot of hats, literally and figuratively. You can see all the hats in my background here that I choose to wear on any given different day. As you can see, I got my hat that actually, if you don't know, it has a removable patch and I can put whatever I want on there. And today I have the like icon. I have an email icon. I have one that says work a frolic because that is my motto. I really love what I do. So therefore, it's not always work. It's always fun. But I'm here today to talk about repurposing content on social media. And I want you to get the most value out of this presentation today. So I see a few folks that are here with us live right now. Go ahead in the chat and just let me know if you're, kind of newer to social media or maybe repurposing and recycling content, or if you've been doing that for a while. This way I can kind of tailor this conversation today to give you the best possible outcome and then maybe help you with the Q&A. And while you're doing that and getting your fingers warmed up, let's go ahead and talk about a dilemma I had earlier this spring. I found an empty milk jug sitting on my counter and I had to make a decision. Do I recycle it or do we possibly repurpose it and give it new life? My wife came over and said, hey, that would make a great addition to my garden where I could start my little seedlings and put them under a grow light and then put them out into the garden once they're a little bit more grown. And my son heard the conversation, came running in and said, no, my job is to take the recycling out and put it at the curb on Mondays because I get my allowance by doing that and I don't want you to do my job. So I had this decision to make, and it was a tough choice. Do I make my wife happy or do I make my son happy? Usually it's a no-brainer if you want to make your wife happy, but my son is also important and special. Like I said, it was a difficult decision, and what is easy to do is also not easy to do. My name is Hank Hoffmeyer. I'm the digital marketing infotainer. I like to make marketing fun and successful. I'm also the senior manager of operations and marketing for iContact, an email marketing platform. I like to say in regards to SEO or Google searches, I have the best SEO for my name because it is so unique. I take up about the first 2 pages. So if you're looking for me, especially on social media, just search for my name. You'll find me on all the social media channels. And if you're going to connect with me on LinkedIn, please customize the invite. I have a hard, fast rule. It's a little weird rule where I do not accept blind invites. I like to know you a little bit, and you may actually have me reach out to have a call with you before we actually connect because I believe in having a valuable network. When you see these letters, you probably think of rest and relaxation, taking a break, having fun, unwinding, digital detox, but don't let that get the best of you because we're marketers. I know you'd rather be sitting on a beach, drinking a pina colada, listening to the waves crash in and letting your kids run around if you have kids on the beach and watching them, or maybe be on a Caribbean vacation. But let's get back to reality. When's the last time you had a good amount of either, right? Because right now we're probably doing a lot of this. You're actually doing this right now. You're sitting on a Zoom webinar, and I don't know how many Zoom webinars or Zoom meetings you have in a day, but I think I have anywhere from a minimum of 3, and I think I've had the most of about 12 to 14 on any given day, not week, any given day, just because I am in marketing and I have so many different teams to talk to. I'm a big fan of using Slack huddles as well, just to collaborate a little bit. I'd rather be sitting in a coffee shop doing some work, putting on headphones and just knocking out some content. As a workaholic, you probably can understand that. But, things are different right now. We have to be all over the place. some companies want us back in the office. We might need to be working at home. And I like to people watch. That's why I like to go to coffee shops. I think I need to do that a little bit more. And I've been in marketing for a long time. I have about almost 30 years experience either running businesses or doing marketing. And I used to connect to the internet using a dial-up modem. I don't know how old you folks are on the screen. I see Derek smiling, but a dial-up modem made a really horrible noise. And when I do this presentation in person, I ask people to mimic that. And it's just so hilarious, gets the whole room laughing, but it was a horrible noise. Took forever to connect, and you really wanted to connect to the internet and get what you needed done and get off the internet. We're always just so connected now, and there's so much content out there, and you as a marketer need to stand out in a crowded market. So R&R is not rest and relaxation. It's actually recycle and repurpose. Again, what is easy to do is also not easy to do, but I say, let's make it as easy as possible. Let's talk about repurposing, or using it up, wearing it out, and making do with or without. Boyd Parker says, and I know there's an error on here. This is actually Ian Salthammer, an actor. He just says, use it up, use it again, whether it's a computer, parts for a car, anything we use, we probably should be doing more with it. And I'm going to include content today. One thing I always hear a lot from these big brands or people that are on stage and they work for Fortune 500, 100 companies is you need to have specific content for every channel. You need to curate it, produce it, and post specific content for that channel. Otherwise, it will not get engagement. Well, if you work for a big company, good for you. You probably have 20 or 30 people on your marketing team. But many companies these days have either one person because they're a solopreneur, or maybe 3 to 5 people on their marketing team. In my opinion, I think that you need to be taking same content and repurposing it and putting it on other channels and making sure that your content is seen. Don't believe the hype. Don't listen to these big companies. It's just more important for you to get more content out there more consistently. I've never got a hate gram of somebody saying, Hank, you know what? I saw a tweet from you the other day that when I went to LinkedIn, I saw the same content again. I'm going to unfollow you right now. I'm going to unconnect from you. I don't want to see your content anymore. It's never happened to me. Maybe somebody said something in their mind like, oh, Hank posted the same stuff in different channels, but it's never gotten me into content jail or got me any negative remarks. It is okay to harness your inner superpower and do something that's just easy. Just repurpose and recycle your content. First and foremost, let's talk about video, because video is probably one of the most important pieces of content that you can create. By using video, your audience will retain about 80% of the content in that video versus 10% in text. 80% of marketing is video right now, and the retention rate is so much higher than just putting text out there. Now, okay, I'm proud of you if you're using video. If not, hopefully I'm encouraging you to get started or look into it. I created a TikTok video this morning. I wanted to first and foremost share it on TikTok, but I also shared it on Instagram Reels and on LinkedIn as well. Same video, just a little bit of a different context when it comes to the text. And the most important thing you need to do when you create video is use subtitles. This is where you burn in the actual text content or what you're saying onto the screen, because many of us are doing what's called second screening. Somebody might be watching Netflix or they're in a meeting, but they're looking at their phone and watching videos. By being able to read the subtitles, they'll still be able to get the content from the video if they have their sound off, which a lot of us do. I do it quite often as well. Here are some of my favorite tools to do video editing and do captions or subtitles. Camtasia, that's a great way if you have a product like a SaaS product. You can actually capture your screen, your audio, as well as your video all at the same time, edit it and make it look really cool. Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, and DaVinci Resolve are all professional video editing platforms, which are pretty cool to use. iMovies on iOS, it's on your iPhone, on your iPad. LumaFusion is a cool app for the iPad and for your phone that's kind of related to Final Cut or Adobe, but at a fraction of the cost, and it has a lot of powerful features and add-ons. And ClipScribe, I like to use that. You upload a video, and if it's a vertical video, you can turn it into a horizontal video and vice versa. You can add the captions, customize the captions, retime them. And one cool feature I like is if you remove certain sections, you can take snippets out. Let's say this webinar, I upload it to Clipscribe and I say something really cool. Maybe it's a quote. I can cut out that specific quote, export that, and share that on social media. Captions app is just called Captions. It's a way to take your video, upload it to this Captions app, and it automatically adds the captions and gives you a bunch of different styles, which I love. And just the other day, they added the ability to go in and use their AI tool, and you can develop a script. You can say email marketing subject lines, and it will give you 3 or 4 paragraphs that you can talk about while you're creating your video. And they have it where it'll scroll on your screen while you're reading, or you can actually use it while you're using, say, TikTok or Instagram Reels and you're recording from that app. It'll send it to you via push notifications. And then the last one is CapCut. It's almost similar to Captions, but it's a really easy to use, powerful, starting free tool to edit your videos, add captions, stickers, animated GIFs, overlays, whole bunch of different things. So these are my favorite tools. Hopefully you took a screenshot of that, or we can, give it to you later in the recording, but those are some really cool tools. All right, so let's talk about taking content and repurposing it. Let's say you created an awesome video, or I did the one this morning. I could take a transcript of this video, use a tool to get the transcript, and then create a blog post from that transcript. Then I could take that content and share snippets or, segments of that video on social media. I have a blog post, a video on YouTube, and then social posts. There's so much more you can do with that. And just really quickly, taking that content, put it on Facebook, Instagram, even Pinterest. I don't know who's using Snapchat. I kind of went away from that, but added that here. You got TikTok, you got Twitter. Of course, you can add YouTube, LinkedIn to this slide. I just didn't want to make it really busy, but you could share that same or similar content out to the different channels. Maybe you're a blogger. Maybe you're not really into, first and foremost, video, but you do a lot of blogging, or you have white papers or something like that. The idea here would be just to take that written content and use that as a script for your video. And then you could pull quotes from that blog article and push that on social media. And I know some cool tools to do that, and I'll show you in a few moments. Then again, creating your social posts, again, sharing that out on the same channels that you might use, including LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever. Maybe you have some written content and you don't want to get in front of the camera. You don't want to record yourself talking, but you have this content. There's a tool called Lumen 5. I'm going to show you an example right now where you can add your written content and add either still images or video, and it'll look something like this. It's just something I put together just to show how this works. And thank you for the applause. I know. It took me about 10 minutes to make, and I'm a rock star content creator. No, it was actually just really easy. I copied and pasted content or typed it in, and it created that little video. All right, you're starting to create all this video. I've enticed you to do more video, and now you're going to do more blogging, right? Somebody's probably going to tell you need to have quality content, not quantity. In other words, make sure you only put out 1 blog post per month or 1 social media post per week. For me, I'd rather have the quantity over quality. Why? Because you will get better over time. The more quantity content you create, the more quality it'll be. For me, when I launched my book, The ABCs of the Customer Journey, A Beginner's Guide to Automation, Branding, and Customer Service, I saturated social media with a bunch of different posts. I just went in and pulled quotes from my book, tweaked it a little bit. These were not the first iterations, but they've gotten better over time. I learned by doing the quantity, not by making sure every piece was going to be awesome. Learn from your mistakes. Learn what your audience wants. It has to be quantity over quality. And as I said, you'll get more quality over time. You'll get better at what you do. Also, I talked about social media. I'm talking about Twitter. I'm talking about TikTok. I'm talking about YouTube, all these different channels. Don't forget about email marketing, folks, because email marketing is another marketing channel. It's very powerful. I know I work for iContact, an email marketing platform. But if you look at the data, email marketing is still one of the most powerful marketing channels you can use. It's 40 times more effective than pay-per-click, than any other type of platform that's out there, even social media. That's why you want to use email marketing. 61% of American workers say email marketing is very important to their job, meaning they're in their inbox every day. Now, I know you guys are not really using the chat too much, and I won't ask this question and get an answer, but how many of you check your email first thing when you wake up in the morning? It's funny is because 85% of Americans actually check their email within 15 minutes of waking up. And that's why email marketing is important, because it still plays people go to figure out what's happening, what's going on, what's wrong, items from work, from their boss or whatever. And it's still kind of like a one-on-one transaction. It's an email being sent from someone to me rather than something being sent to 10,000 people at the same time. That's kind of the same thing for everyone. With email marketing, you can use personalization, you can use targeting via segments. And if you're in B2B, email marketing is more important than ever. 83% of B2B marketers use email marketing as their primary marketing channel. Make sure with any types of content, even email marketing, use hashtags. Relevant hashtags help you. With social media, it helps you with the algorithms, especially on TikTok and Reels, even LinkedIn. It helps your content get pushed to the right people. And if you're not using TikTok right now, I highly recommend that you consider it. It is going to be one of the next highly used search platforms. In other words, people go to Google to search for what to do in DC. I'm actually going to DC this weekend for a regional retreat because I'm also on the board for my chapter of the American Marketing Association in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we have a retreat with about 14 different chapters. Normally I'd go to Google, TripAdvisor, or Yelp and say, where do I eat in DC? But people now, and I actually did to see how it would work, go to TikTok and say where to eat in DC or what to do in DC. There's a bunch of content creators that are curating content specifically for that. Try searching for stuff related to, say, history, maybe something around World War II or how replicas work. There's people creating content that's accurate that is being shown in the searches. TikTok is very powerful, folks. And don't forget to use emojis in your content, in your email marketing subject lines, in your body, and especially in social media. It helps just break up the content a little bit, and it's just not dry text. It helps people's eyes become a little bit less fatigued and have a little bit of fun in your day. Just make sure all of your hashtags are relevant. So get out there, get all the engagement you can, put out as much quality and quantity content that you can. And by doing that, you'll have a lot of historical value. In other words, people go to your Facebook page, they can see what you've posted. Same thing with TikTok, they can see what you've posted. And on YouTube, they can see your playlist, they can see all of your history. By continually creating and repurposing your content, you'll have an archival library of content that you can use to recycle. Recycling your content helps you have a plethora of content to share over and over and not always have to continue to create new content. By remixing your content, you can create new hits out of old content. I don't know how many of you actually started buying vinyl records again, but that is another thing that's coming back. I'm thinking about buying a record player, and I know some people that actually go to record stores and buy records still. So this slide has been in my repertoire for a little while. This was actually recycled from a presentation I did in Nashville, and there's the music tie-in. You can see that. So I pulled that into here. Give your content a remix. You'll save a lot of time. You'll get more ROI and make more money. And, the social algorithms are not really going to ding you much, because if something you posted 6 months ago, you're using again now, you really won't get dinged. Now on SEO, if you put duplicate content on one page and have the same stuff on another page, you'll get dinged a little bit there, but not on social media, folks. Recycle your content. Take something that you've created a while back and use it again. Just make sure that you're creating a lot of evergreen content. This is content that will always remain good. If I'm sending out an email or doing social posts around this event today and it has mentions of a specific date, that's dated. And that's something that's not easy to recycle. But if I'm talking about email marketing subject line best practices, they really haven't changed in the 32 years that email marketing has been around. I can kind of recycle that content again. So it's always good to resurface content because not everyone is going to see all your content all the time. It's always good to give them that reminder. Again, never got, hate grams for stuff that I've repurposed. And I've also never gotten hate grams from stuff I've recycled. I went in while I was preparing for this yesterday a little bit to my platform, Loomly, which is a tool I use for social posts. And I have that in a couple slides up further as well. I went in and looked for some old quotes that I had, and I recycled those and just shared those back out, saved a ton of time. You can always use Throwback Thursday hashtag of something that happened a while ago. Maybe it was a team photo. Go back and say Throwback Thursday from 2019 when we took this photo. It's a great way to recycle your content and only change a little bit of it. When you're recycling, make sure that you organize your content effectively. Maybe you're using a Google Drive or an external hard drive or something. Label your folders. Maybe it's by year, it's by type of content. Maybe you can use a tagging system. I use Asana, which is a task project management / task platform. I use it with my team. I love how I can organize things. I can tag them with different labels. I can also make them high, low, and medium priority, as well as add all of those assets, whether it's videos, images, and text and links to Google Drives. Helps me stay organized. It's not really made for content organization, but I make it work for that. And it's really cool. So find your method of organizing your content so you don't forget to go back and look for it. Loomly also helps me do that because you can also categorize and tag there. Don't forget to hop on trends and bring back content that might be relevant now that was relevant in the past. And you can use influencers to help you recycle your content, maybe micro influencers, give them some freebies or give them some money to help amplify and recycle your content to get it out. Newsjack other top posts that are going there and add your thoughts by going into comments. Don't promote yourself or sell yourself and put links back to your website, but get engaged in conversations so that people see your profile and maybe start following you. Recycling is not only for household items like a milk jug, it works for your social media content and for email marketing as well. And I told you what you need to be doing, a little bit about how, but you probably are saying, hey, I don't really like this guy right now. He's telling us to do all this stuff, but he's not really giving us a lot of tips on what to do. But because I love you, each and every one of you, I want to give you some tools to use to help you through your day. These are the ones that I use. I'm happy to recommend more later. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or any social channel, or, asking the questions at the end here today. But Canva is one that I love to use day in and day out. I create a lot of posts, whether it's promotions for social media, quotes that I mentioned, the tiles I showed earlier, which had quotes from my book, were made in Canva. And then I can go back later and just recycle those, change the color of the background so it looks a little bit different, or just simply reuse them. Loomly is a social media posting platform. What I like about that is if you have a team of people that you need to check their work, they can put posts in that need to be reviewed, and they do not have the capability to post, but they can submit it for approval. Then you can edit and schedule them. Has a media library. They have hashtag collections where, say, I wanted one for email marketing, I can put in 5 or 6 hashtags related to email marketing and then always reuse them over and over. They give you the ability for trending hashtags, which they look at your content and give you trending hashtags to use in that post. Look into that LumaFusion I mentioned on the iPad and iPhone. It's kind of like a professional video editing platform. My favorite right now for video is CapCut. Used that just a little while ago for the videos I made. Really easy to use. I use the free version. Haven't ran across any need to pay for that. Hootsuite and Buffer is another way to share your social media in bulk. You can also basically easily go in and use Buffer to say, when I add something, I don't want to share it right away. I want to have a little buffer, is why they're called Buffer. In other words, I have slots maybe set up 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 3 p.m. Anytime I put something in, it'll get shared at those times. and it'll be added to the next slot every time I add a new piece of content. So a lot of times I use an app called Pocket. Probably should have added it here, Pocket app. And it has a browser extension as well as the app. You can bookmark blog posts, and then what I do is read them later. Or you can use the text-to-speech feature. When I'm driving, I have the articles read out loud to me. Then I use the iOS scripting, which is a way to use custom code for your phone. It actually sends them to my inbox. And then what I do is send them through Buffer with my thoughts. So I read this article, thought it was great. You should read it because then it goes in a Buffer. So it looks like I'm on social media all day, but I'm not. And these are two items made in Canva. So the first one on the left is just a quote from me. The one on the right here is a thumbnail for my podcast, Hank's Marketing and Business Tips. And then this was somebody that I met and heard her presentation. I thought she did a really good job. So she was on my podcast. So that's promoting that episode. Now, let's say you have a podcast or you just want to do audio. You want to take your phone and use the voice recording feature. You can use apps like Wave to upload that audio and add visuals to it. Headliner is another one. I wanted to show this one just because they have a little bit more of a visual from their website, where you can add the little waveform and then have a background, whether it's an image or just text like you see here, and then it'll play on social media. It's always good to have something moving on the screen when people are listening or watching something. When you're creating videos, they say right now the best practice is to change perception every 3 seconds. What I do is if I'm just sitting here in front of my desk and I do a recording, what I'll do in CapCut is I'll cut it when I do something like an emphasis or I'm changing a sentence. I'll cut it, I'll zoom it in a little bit, then cut it again a couple seconds later, zoom it back out, zoom in, zoom out, just change the perception or add images to keep people engaged with your content. InShot is another app that you can create cool things like this. You could do different sizes, but this one was square. They give you stickers to use. You can add stuff on the top and the bottom. This is Clipscribe. I mentioned them a little bit earlier, but I like how you can add the banners at the top and bottom. You can turn horizontal videos into vertical and vertical into horizontal. You can customize it to your liking, different colors, different fonts. You can add the time bar, so it'll show people how much longer is left in the video. It could be a frame that goes around it, could be a bar or a countdown timer. Really cool app or website. I'd say check that one out. And then here's the Captions app, which allows you to add the captions to your videos, which is pretty cool. All right, so I want you to be a star when you're on camera. So I'm telling you to do more video. Here are some apps that I use for creating content. Copy.ai and Jasper.ai is AI software that you can go and say, I want a blog post about email marketing subject lines, and it'll give you some copy. Captions app does that similarly. Big View is a great way to use your phone as a teleprompter. Teleprompter app is the name of that one. It's very similar. It's a little bit cheaper than Big View. I highly recommend doing that, but practice your speed so it doesn't look like you're reading from a script. And then QR codes, which you'll see at the end of this presentation, or I would say have made a comeback with the pandemic. You probably went to a restaurant and they no longer had physical menus. You had to scan a QR code. So QR Code Monkey is a good one for that. That was just like a little bonus thrown in there. It's important to dial up your content, folks, and put more quantity out there, but don't use dial-up internet because it's horrible. As I mentioned, I used to go through that and I suffered very much when it came to that. But more content means more eyeballs on your content, on your website, on your social media platforms. Recycling and repurposing your content help you reap the benefits of saving time and having a better social presence, or maybe in the inbox when it comes to email marketing. It'll help you grow your business and, more importantly, grow your profits. I encourage you to get some real R&R. I know I'm going to DC this weekend, but this is going to be kind of a work trip in a way, but I'm excited for going to Turkey and Greece next year, which is something we were supposed to do pre-pandemic. It was actually a month before the pandemic hit, and we were wondering, are we going to be able to go or not? We had to cancel that. I rebooked it. And I think I'm starting to get threats from my boss that when I'm on vacation, if I check my email, I'm going to get fired, which, you know, is uplifting and also scary at the same time, because I am a workaholic. I really care about what I do, but definitely go out, get some rest and relaxation, but also make sure you recycle and repurpose your content so that it's more effective. what I want to do today, just for a thank you, is to give you what we call the ultimate subject line guide from iContact. It has 501 examples of effective subject lines and non-effective subject lines. It has good and bad subject lines around data from iContact customers. So we actually give you the open rate, how many people it was sent to, whether it was good or bad. And we dissect those emails and let you know our thoughts about them. It's broken down by different types of email, different industries. So it could be around automation, it could be around split testing, it could be around holiday emails. It's a really great resource. There's the QR code. And you're probably wondering what happened to that milk jug. It actually turned into a little micro growth station for some tomatoes that we enjoyed not too long ago. And gardens here in North Carolina are still doing okay. I think it's right at the tail end. But my son was a little bit upset that he didn't get to recycle it. But I told him when my wife was done with it, he could, and he did. But that is all for me today. I do want to jump into Q&A, see if there's any questions. I'm going to go back to this slide just in case you still need that. Derek, I really appreciate the opportunity today. And hopefully I provided some value, and I want to make sure that we give more value by seeing if there's any questions.
Great, thank you, Hank. That was very good. I love all your tools. They were awesome, because a lot of times, while we kind of understand that repurpose, recycle is the way to do it, being able to do it quickly and efficiently using some of these tools is a real benefit to a marketer. So not everybody knows these tools. It sounds like you've been a power user of some of these. And tell me more about your split, if you would, around video versus written.
I want to say I do a lot more video, just because it's one of those things where if you develop a habit around it, you do more of it. And I've been trying to record at least one video a day. And then I would just choose it because I've made the mistake of, saying I want this for TikTok, but I'm going to repurpose it. But I mentioned, oh, follow me here on TikTok. And then I'm like, oh, well, I can't really use that on Instagram. And if I didn't do it right, I can't cut it out. But I'm trying to get in the habit of creating more video content. A lot of what I do is, like, I want to say my personal brand, but I'm a brand ambassador for iContact as well. Therefore, it's a team of one. But when it comes to iContact, we definitely want to be multi-channel. We're writing a lot of blog posts. We're putting out a lot of assets. We are doing some video, and then we're just using some general social media around linking to content and inspirational type of quotes and stuff like that. So we run the gamut at iContact. For me, I'm trying to be video first and foremost, but I also, I guess I recycle those articles I told you about by using Pocket, where I'm sharing helpful articles, putting my thought to it as well. But probably then 70-30, 60-40, heavier on the video side if I had to think about it for me.
Yeah, great. Thank you. The purpose of this webinar is not to promote iContact, but could you just say a few things about what makes iContact a more valuable tool for marketers than some of the other choices that they might have? What are the things that give iContact a huge edge for a marketer of a small, medium, or enterprise level company?
Right. I always say, first and foremost, iContact might not be the best fit for everyone. Then again, almost any platform is not the best fit for everyone. I don't think any platform has ever been made for everyone. But at iContact, we've been around for 20 years, celebrating 20 years next year. I've been with the organization for 12. I've seen where we want to help businesses grow through the use of email marketing. I like to think that we're easy to use yet powerful. And the most important thing is we have not forgotten what great customer service looks like. Most of our plans, not our free plan doesn't have it, but most of our plans have phone, email, and chat support. I mean, a lot of companies still don't have phone support anymore. We really want to help organizations grow. We have a drag and drop email builder, automation, landing pages, powerful segmentation. We offer the ability to use stock images that we provide. And then also we just launched our newer social blocks, where you can take your social content and put it right into your email to get more engagement on social from your email content, which is pretty cool. I happily have a conversation with anyone to see if it is a good fit. We do also have a direct integration into Salesforce called Eye Contact for Salesforce. If you wanted to use the power of Eye Contact but never leave Salesforce, you could still do that as well. Yeah, and I've been with Eye Contact because it's a great company. A lot of times they say you either leave a bad company or a bad manager, but I believe Eye Contact's a great company and there's great leaders at the organization. That's why I'm still there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm seeing no questions, and it doesn't mean that on the recorded version of this, there might not be questions. So can you once again just suggest the best way to contact you?
Sure. We'll definitely go to eyecontact.com or look for me. Just search Hank Hoffmeyer on Google. I'll take up the first 2 pages. You'll find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, whatever your method is. Just mention the name of this presentation or Think and Disrupt, and I'll definitely engage back with you. My email address is hank@eyecontact.com if you want to reach out to me that way. I'd happily have any kind of conversation. Even if you're not interested in changing email providers or using one, if you want to have a discussion around digital marketing or email marketing strategy, I'm always up for that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Hank. It's been a pleasure. As we are here to help marketers be better marketers, it sounds like that is your intent as well. So welcome to the RMA family, and we'd love to have you again to deal with other topics as well.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.